Hola, 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 hola. Hola a todos, bienvenidos a una clase más en vivo en nuestro canal Español con Mike. Hi everybody, this is Mike. Welcome to another live streaming class. Today is Tuesday, September the 12th, 2023, and it's 7:30 p.m. in Colombia. I really appreciate and thank all of you, the ones who are right now with us during this live broadcasting, live streaming class, and also to those who are watching this video later, because this is part of a few playlists on my channel, videos about conjugation of verbs. So we are learning how to conjugate verbs, and we are basically practicing conjugation rules for regular verbs. What we have been doing for the past few videos is that I have a list of the 56 most used regular verbs in Spanish, and we have learned and practiced the conjugation for the simple present, the two different ways of using the simple past in Spanish, which is pretérito indefinido y pretérito imperfecto, and the simple future. And tonight we are going to talk about the gerund. Thing is, the gerund is not technically the gerund. The gerund in English is not technically the gerund in Spanish. So let's try to first explain something about this. And the details are, in English, if we speak in English, if we think about English, we have the present participle and the gerund. The gerund is used when I want or I need to transform a verb into an adjective or a noun. Say, fishing is fun. Fishing is fun. I'm using the gerund to take the verb to fish and convert that in a noun for the sentence. Fishing, subject, is verb, fun. The rest of the sentence. Fishing is fun. That's the gerund in English. And the present participle in English is when you use the ing form in a sentence in which we are using a continuous form, a progressive form. Say, I am fishing today. That's the present participle. I am fishing today. We were going to the movies. I have been waiting for you. That ing, when it is any of those progressive or continuous forms, tenses, structures, that's what we call in English the present participle. Whereas the gerund is using the ing form to be able to use a verb as a noun or as an adjective. Fishing rod, adjective. Fishing is nice, noun. Having said that, in Spanish, we don't have the gerund as it is in English. In Spanish, we have a gerund, which is called gerundio, but in Spanish, our gerund, our gerundio, is the present participle in English, meaning the way we use the gerund, gerundio, in Spanish is for progressive or continuous tenses, forms, structures. That's the reason why for us Spanish speakers is quite complicated to grasp, to fully understand the concept of the gerund itself. And because of we just have the gerund gerundio, which is the present participle in English, we called gerundio either one of those. For us, gerundio is either gerund or present participle when we talk about English. Now, in Spanish, in the old ways, in old times, ancient times, the old Spanish, there was a form called participio presente, which is present participle in English. Participio presente. And was the gerund, meaning there was a conjugation for verbs in order to transform a verb into a noun or into an adjective. Examples of this: amor or amar, the verb amar, to love, amar. Amante would be the lover. Interesar, to interest, verb, interesar. Interesante, adjective. Thing is, those words were just transformed into words and the conjugation ante was forgotten. So the present participle in Spanish no longer exists as a verb form, a verbal form. It doesn't exist. But we keep the words amante, interesante, tranquilizante, things like that. So, having said that, we now should understand that in Spanish, when we talk about gerund, we are really speaking about the present participle. But in Spanish, it's called gerundio. That's the name of the present participle in Spanish. We don't have a gerund in Spanish per se, as I just explained. But we do have gerundio, which is the present participle. So, having understood that, from now on, whenever we talk about the present participle in Spanish, we're going to talk about the gerund. That's it. And we're going to call that gerundio. So, the gerund in Spanish can be used either as a verb or as an adverb. And for regular verbs, It has its rules of conjugations, pretty simple. And we do have also conjugations for irregular verbs, the way we have to work with them. Tonight, in this part one, we're going to focus on regular verbs, and we're going to watch what's the use, well, learn what are the uses of a gerund in Spanish as a verb. So let's check this first. Oh, by the way, just before I forget, if you like the video, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, groups, social media. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please click the bell button in order to get notifications so you can get the updates, because we're posting videos on a weekly basis and going live too. Plus, if you are a subscriber, you're going to be able to participate in the chat. So you need to be a subscriber in order to be able to chat. And of course, the idea of being able to participate in the chat during live streaming classes is because you can ask questions and we can interact. That's the full idea of a live streaming class. So hopefully you're going to be able to use that as a pro. So, and by the way, this is my 100,000 subscribers badge from another channel that I have, in which I teach English to Spanish speakers. So luckily and hopefully I'm gonna have another one like this one too for this channel. So far we've reached over 5,000 subscribers, and looking forward to keeping on growing. And that's because of you. That's thanks to you. And hopefully I'm gonna be creating more contents that can be helpful and useful in your learning process. So, sorry. I told you that gerund in Spanish can be used both as a verb and as an adverb. When we use gerund as a verb, is the regular progressive form. Estoy viviendo en casa de mis padres. I'm living at my parents. As you can see, endo, yendo, yendo, ando, yendo. Those are the conjugations for the gerund in Spanish. So I say, estoy viviendo en casa de mis padres. That's a progressive tense. And I say, I'm living at my parents. Sorry. I'm living at my parents. Actually, like this. Okay. Sorry for that. I'm living at my parents. Sigo trabajando para el gobierno. I'm still working for government. Llevo esperando 2 horas. I have been waiting for 2 hours. Estuve pensando en ti. I was thinking about you. That's the uses of the gerund gerundio in Spanish as a verb. And I can also use it as an adverb, saying, he perdido peso haciendo ejercicio. Haciendo ejercicio, that's the way I have been losing weight. I've lost weight by doing exercise. He perdido peso haciendo ejercicio. Te sigo amando. I still loving you, which would be really, I am still loving you. Te sigo amando. Yo estoy aún amándote, pretty much. Or me estoy cansando de esto. I'm sick of this, which is actually, I'm getting sick of this. Me estoy cansando de esto. So this is basically the way we use that. And these are the conjugations for the verb. Remember, when we have in Spanish a verb in its infinitive form, in English we know because it has the to before. To play, to eat, to live, right? Those are regular verbs in their infinitive form in English. So when we are talking about regular verbs, I mean any verb, and this is also for English, any verb as in their infinitive form, those are to play, to eat, to live. In Spanish would be jugar, comer, vivir. In Spanish, we have three different endings for the verbs. When they are in their infinitive form, we have ar, ir, ir. And whatever is left from the verb, that's the root of the verb. So when we are, this is something that we have been doing for the past few videos, for the past few classes, with all of the verbs, learning conjugation rules. And these are basically the rules for the gerund, el gerundio, gerund. So if I have jugar and the verb ends in r, I change the r, I leave the root and add ando. So I say jugar, jugando, jugar, jugando. And for the rest, and ir verbs, regular verbs, remember, this is just for regular verbs. If the verb ends in or ir, the ending changes to yendo, yendo. So I have comer, it ends in I replace by yendo, comiendo. Vivir, viviendo. And that's how you conjugate the regular verbs in Spanish in their gerund form. This is the gerund form. And remember, we are really talking about present participle because this is a progressive form, a progressive continuous tense form in Spanish. But remember, we agreed to call this gerund because in Spanish we call that gerundio. So having said that, there is another thing that we need to keep in mind, because those verbs are pretty much going to be used in, hey, Ozan Quebec. Yes, he played center back. Buenas noches a todos. Bienvenido. Gracias por estar aquí. Gracias a todas las personas que están en vivo. Un saludo cordial a mi amiga Sirina, a Mr. South of Boston, and Ozan Quebec. Yes, he played center back. Thanks for being here tonight with us live. So, where were we? Okay, so, because basically the use in Spanish of the gerund is for progressive or continuous tenses, we use the basic structures for progressive or continuous tenses. The conjugation of the verb is gonna be always this, ando, yendo. That's it. Regardless the subject, it doesn't matter. Gerund is gonna be always this, ando, yendo, jugando, saltando, riendo, saliendo, hablando, pensando, caminando, saltando, everything ando, yendo. Regular verbs, remember. But because it's basically the use of those is connected and directly connected to the progressive continuous tenses forms, structures, what we do is we have to remember how to conjugate the verb to be translated as estar, because yo estoy corriendo. I don't say yo soy corriendo, even though I am can be translated either as yo soy y yo estoy. Remember, we use estoy because estar, it's just a temporary state, and a progressive tense is a temporary state. That's it. So I say yo estoy, let's say corriendo, tú estás, you are. So let's remember real quick the conjugation of the verb to be translated as estar in the four basic tenses that we have, right? The four basic tenses that we have as estar. So I say, I am, yo estoy. You are, tú estás, singular, informal, close relationships. You are, ustedes están, you are, usted está, singular, formal. Ustedes están, plural. Vosotros estáis, plural, Spain. Él está, he is. She is, ella está. It is, está. We are, nosotros estamos. They are, ellos están. They are, ellas están. And remember, we are just reviewing this because we need this before the ando, endo. I say, yo estoy hablando. Tú estás escuchando. Usted está escribiendo. Ustedes están estudiando. Vosotros estáis visitando. Él está caminando. Ella está sonriendo. Está nevando. Nosotros estamos pagando. Ellos están tomando. Ellas están jugando. You see, we need that before the ando endo. And remember, ando endo is the same regardless the subject. It's always the same. So, if we move to the simple future, I will be, yo estaré, you will be, tú estarás, singular, informal, close relationships. You will be, usted estará, singular, formal. Ustedes estarán, plural. Vosotros estaréis, plural, Spain. Él estará, he will be. Ella estará, she will be. Estará, it will be. Nosotros estaremos, we will be. Ellos estarán, they will be male. Ellas estarán, female. In the past form, we have estaba or estuve. I just forgot to write estuve aquí. So I can say either. I was, yo estaba, or yo estuve. Estaba on a frequent basis, or when I'm trying to tell a story. Estuve just once in the past. Remember, we have studied this before. If you are kind of lost, please check the other videos, the first videos in which I teach this. You were, tú estabas, or tú estuviste. Singular, informal, close relationships. You were, usted estaba, usted estuvo, the same. You were, singular, formal. Ustedes estaban, ustedes estuvieron, plural. Vosotros estabais, vosotros estuvisteis, plural, Spain. He was, él estaba o él estuvo, same, él estuvo. She was, ella estaba, ella estuvo. It was, estaba, estuvo. We were, nosotros estábamos, nosotros estuvimos. They were, ellos estaban, ellos estuvieron, male. They were, ellas estaban, ellas estuvieron, female. And that would be for the simple past, because in Spanish we have two different ways for the simple past. The way that we use for things that we did once and that was it, which is estuve, estuvo, estuvieron, estuvisteis, and the form that we use in order to tell stories or to talk about things that we used to do, that we would do on a frequent basis. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estaban, estábamos. And last but not least, the present perfect, which can be the future perfect or the past perfect, because it's basically the same, just changing the have. I have been, yo he estado. You have been, tú has estado. Singular, informal, close relationships. You have been, usted ha estado. Singular, formal. Ustedes han estado, plural. Vosotros habéis estado, plural, Spain. Él ha estado, he has been. Ella ha estado, she has been. Ha estado, it has been. Nosotros hemos estado, we have been. Ellos han estado, they have been, male. Ellas han estado, they have been, female. And remember, if we use any of these verbs in their gerund form in Spanish, let's say jugar, jugando, I can say, yo estoy jugando, I'm playing. Tú estás jugando, you are playing. Usted está jugando, you are playing. Ustedes están jugando, you are playing. Vosotros estáis jugando, you are playing. Él está jugando, he is playing. Ella está jugando, she is playing. Está jugando, it is playing. Nosotros estamos jugando, we are playing. Ellos están jugando, they are playing, male. Ellas están jugando, female. And that was jugar in their in its gerund form for the simple present. And I can say that also for the future. Yo estaré jugando. And jugando is the same conjugation. So What changes is the part that has to be with the verb to be. Sorry for being redundant. I will be, yo estaré jugando. I will be playing, same as in English. Playing is the same. You will be playing, tú estarás jugando. You will be playing, usted estará jugando. You will be playing, ustedes estarán jugando. You will be playing, vosotros estaréis jugando. He will be playing, él estará jugando. She will be playing, ella estará jugando. It will be playing, estará jugando. We will be playing, nosotros estaremos jugando. They will be playing, ellos estarán jugando. Male, they will be playing, ellas estarán jugando. Female. And we have the simple past. I was playing, yo estaba jugando, or yo estuve jugando. You were playing, tú estabas jugando, tú estuviste jugando, and so on. And so as you can see, this is pretty much easy. I have been playing, yo he estado jugando. Ando, endo. It's gonna be the same. Ando, endo, but following these rules. Ando, yendo. Ando for ar, yendo for ir. So when we check real quick here, the 56 verbs that we have, I would like you to try and conjugate the verb in the gerund form. Just the verb, to see. Let's say, abrir, abriendo, ar, ando, yendo, ir, yendo. So if the verbs end in ar, ando. If the verb ends in or ir, yendo. Abrir, abriendo. So, agarrar. How would you say agarrar in gerund in Spanish? Agarrar. Agarrar, agarrando, agarrando. Wrapping, right? Ahorrar. How would it be? Ar, ending in ar. Easy. Ahorrando. Amar, to love, ends in ar. Amando. Aprender, ends in yendo. Aprendiendo. Bajar, ends in ar. Bajando. Agarrando. Yes, Serena. Totally. Abriendo, agarrando. Let's go with bajar, ar. Bajando. Barrer, ends in sweeping, barrer, yendo, barriendo. Remember, ar, ando, ir, yendo. That's it. So easy, so easy. Beber, beber. How would you write beber? Bebiendo. Cambiar, cambiar. Cambiando. Caminar, caminar, caminando. Most of the verbs here end in ar. Some in just a few ones in ir. Cantar, easy. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you read that there? Cantar. I think it shows here. Cantar. Yeah, cantar. I'm going to try to leave one just behind, just to make sure it shows. Cantar. Number 11, cantar. Cantando. Number 12, cenar. Cenar, ar. Cenar, cenando. Number 13, cocinar. Pretty much easy. Yeah. Cocinar. Cocinando. Cooking, cocinando. Number 14, comer. Ends in comer. Comiendo. Ir, yendo. Ar, ando. Number 15, comparar. Pretty much easy. Comparando. Number 16, compartir. Ends in ir. Compartir. Compartiendo. Number 17, comparar. Comprar. Be careful because comparar sounds pretty much like comprar. But comparar means to compare, comparando. And comprar means to buy, comprando. So number 17, comprar. Comprando. Number 18, Conversar, to chat, to talk. Chatting, talking. Conversar, conversar, conversando. Number 19, copiar. Copiando, copiando. Remember, we're not going all the subjects because for all the subjects is the same, just depending on whatever sentence or tense structure we are trying to use or practice. Copiar, enseñar, copiando. Desayunar, number 20. Desayunar, desayunando. And remember, these are the rules for regular verbs. In the next class, we're going to study the rules for irregular verbs because there are some kind of rules for that. Desayunar, desayunando. Number 21, dudar, 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 dudando. Number 22, durar. Dudar and durar sound similar but different. Dudar with the D, dudar like that, like that, father, dudar. And durar, arar with the R, durar. Durar, durando, to last, to endure, to bear, to take, or spend. We have learned that before. Enamorar. Remember that enamorar can be used in two different ways in Spanish. One in which it's translated as to make somebody fall in love, to captivate someone, to charm people, or to win someone's heart. Enamorar. Enamorando. And enamorarse, to fall in love, would be enamorándose. 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 That's different. We can say me estoy enamorando. Okay, so that's different, and just to keep in mind. Number 24, escribir, and sin ir, escribiendo, escribiendo. Number 25, escuchar, escuchar, escuchando. Number 26, esperar, esperar, esperando. Number 27, estudiar, estudiar, estudiando. Number 28, existir, existir, and sin ir, existiendo. Number 29, ganar, ganar, ganando. Number 30, guardar, guardar, guardando. I'm leaving the translation in English on the right column, just because these verbs, we have gone through these verbs during all of the past videos. So we have translated this, so you should already have learned the meaning of these verbs, and because you should be practicing building sentences in different tenses with these verbs. Guardar, guardando. Number 31, gustar, gustando, gustando. Number 32, hablar, 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 hablando. Number 33, invitar, invitar, invitando. Number 34, lavar, lavar, lavando. Number 35, limpiar. It's pretty much easy. Limpiar, limpiando, limpiando. Number 36, llamar, llamar, and in ar. Llamando, llamando. Number 37, llevar, and sin ar. Most of the verbs from this list end in ar. Llevando. Number 38, mirar, mirar, mirando. Number 39, necesitar, necesitar, necesitando. Number 40, olvidar, olvidar, olvidando, olvidando. Number 41, parar, parar, parando. Number 42, perdonar, perdonar, perdonando. Number 43, preguntar, preguntar, preguntando. Number 44, prender, prender, yendo, prendiendo. Number 45, prometer, prometer, prometiendo. Number 46, regalar, regalar, regalando. Number 47, responder, responder, respondiendo. Number 48, saludar, saludando, saludando. Number 49, subir, subir, subiendo, subiendo. Number 50, suceder, suceder, sucediendo. Let me see. This is, let's, to take the place of another person or thing, and also to happen, just for you to read that, okay? Because we can translate that in Spanish both ways. And number 51, terminar, terminar, terminando. Number 52, trabajar, trabajar, trabajando. Number 53, usar, usar, usando. Number 54, viajar, viajar, viajando. Number 55, visitar, visitar, visitando. Number 56, vivir, vivir, viviendo. Endo. So we can use any of those verbs, of these verbs from this list, and take any sentence in any progressive / continuous tense structures. And we can say, yo estoy abriendo la puerta. I'm opening the door. Tú estabas agarrando el libro. You were grabbing the book. Ellos estarán ahorrando dinero. They will be saving money. Nosotros hemos estado amándonos. We have been loving each other. So, as you can see, progressive tenses use the gerund in Spanish, gerund, gerundio, which really is, as I said before, the present participle in English. But remember, we are always saying gerund in Spanish because in Spanish is gerundio, gerundio, ando, endo, the ending ando, endo. And it's pretty much easy because it's just to add ando for verbs ending ar and yendo for the other verbs. And just to keep in mind the conjugation of the verb to be, because it's an important part of the progressive structures. It is very important to understand, and it works pretty much like in English. So the idea is for you to start working on this list and trying to remember a conjugation, which is pretty easy. It's very easy. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you like the video, remember, you know what to do. Please share with your friends, group, social media, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. Click the bell button in order to get notifications because we're posting videos on a weekly basis. And remember that we are also having live classes, live streaming classes. So the idea is for you to be able to participate during the chat, during the class in the chat. If you have questions, by the way, nobody has asked any questions. So since it has been pretty much clear. This also helps us to grow as a channel. Remember that Spanish is basically, any language is basically, if you can learn by acquisition or by education. But the idea is to use both, to try and learn both by education and acquisition, meaning that we understand and study the rules and the foundations and the structures and grammar rules and concepts in order to understand how it works, but then we need to start using them. We need to use the language. So we need to start trying and saying things. So this is a matter of practicing. Remember that I also have a video. Well, I have the podcast in which I'm reading things in Spanish for you to practice your listening comprehension skills. I'm also making videos about, I have a playlist called Colombian Slang 101. It's about learning Colombian slang. And the very nice thing here is that during the video, I do the explanation in English, and then we have a conversation. My friend David, aka El Pollo Sarmiento, Serena, no te rías, no te rías. And we are discussing in Spanish about the slang of the video. So let's say if in this video we're going to talk about bacano, which is a slang for cool in Spanish, then we are going to, David and I are going to talk about the use of bacano in Spanish. So this is for you to learn. And I'm also making videos for another playlist called Mike's World. And in this one, I'm showing things from town, from my life, things that we usually do here in Spanish for you to practice and learn. Practice your listening skills. Try to learn how we speak real Spanish and Colombian Spanish and things from my culture. No te rías, Serena, no te rías. By the way, Serena is a very good friend of mine. She's been so focused studying Spanish. She's doing great. And for those of you who are gamers or are interested in the gaming thing, she's got a channel, Adventures with Dread. youtube.com/adventures with Dread. Allow me to write this here for whomever are into gaming. Oh, what happened here? Give me a second. youtube.com/adventures with Dread. So you can, and also she's a very good photographer. Please visit her website. I don't have her link right now, but next class I'll do. So and remember to practice a lot. This is a matter of practice. So I'm trying to give you both educational and acquisitional contents for you to improve your skills. This is a growing channel. I'm doing my best in order to give you quality contents for your learning process. So please help us grow by sharing these videos, by sharing in your groups, social media, liking the videos. So this is very helpful for us. So I think that's gonna be it for tonight because nobody's asked anything about el gerundio. Entonces espero que les haya ido muy bien. Gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí durante I'm gonna speak fast. Gracias a todas las personas que estuvieron hoy en la transmisión en vivo. Muchas gracias a todos los que están viendo este video en diferido. Y recuerden que estaremos trayendo muchos más materiales para que sigan aprendiendo. That was fast, man. That was Spanish so quick. It's pretty much like listening to a New Yorker or people from North speaking very fast. And I was like, wow, what are they saying? So anyhow, this is a matter of practicing. Remember, please practice. Do not get discouraged. Spanish is difficult, but it's not impossible. In time, you're going to be able to get fluent with it. And it's a life learning process. I've been learning English for 40 years. I started by the age of 13. I learned to speak fast. Well, fast. A couple years. But remember, a language is not a thing that you learn in 3 months, unless you're looking forward to learning a script, just memorizing sentences. And that's not real conversation, at least not a fluent conversation, because if you learn sentences or script and somebody tells you something different, you're going to be lost. Or if you listen to slang or idioms, you're going to be lost. That's going to be pretty much it. So this is a matter of practicing, exposing yourself, a lot of exposure. You need a lot of exposure to the language. So We'll be working on that, trying to give you resources for doing so. And I really enjoy this process. I really do. So looking forward to seeing you in future videos. Remember, next class is going to be same for irregular verbs. I hope you liked it. Remember, show your love, send your likes, subscribe, and see you in the next class. Que se diviertan, que lo pasen bien, aprendan mucho, que pasen buena noche y gracias por estar aquí. Nos vemos en otro video. Chao.